What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I've got 8 tips to improve your KD at Star Wars Battlefront. I won't waste too much of your time today, so let's get straight into it. Tip number 1. Weapon strengths. So we all know that each weapon in Star Wars Battlefront is different and each one is better for certain situations. But a lot of us don't realise this on the online. For example, with the DL-44, you shouldn't really shoot people at long range because you know it doesn't do a lot of damage, and the longer you get away from somebody using the DL-44, the less damage you do. So if you're going to challenge somebody and they're using an E11 at long range, you're never going to win the gunfight. So it's best just to wait for your moment and try and get closer to them. Tip number 2. Third person. Now we all know on Star Wars Battlefront the game looks a lot better when you play it in first person. The graphics are better, the game looks better. Normally we want to play a game so it looks better, but in this case, if we're trying to improve our KD, third person is so much better. You get such a major advantage. You can see around corners, you can pre-fire if you want to, you can see an enemy before they can see you, and that is so vital when you're trying to improve your KD. You just have to be in third person. Tip number 3. Looking out for pickups. Now we all know on Walker Assault when we're having those really terrible games and we finally find that hero pickup that just saves us a little bit. But not all the time this is going to happen. And so what I mean by looking out for pickups, I don't mean stand at the back of the map, not playing the objective, just trying to find that hero pickup. What I mean by this is just keep looking behind you, checking around your surroundings to see if there is anything nearby. An ATSD, an AT-80, anything that you think will help improve your KD. So tip number 3 brings me nicely on to tip number 4. Knowing the pickup locations. Now this doesn't mean knowing every single one, but at least if you know a few, it could really help you out on the battlefield. We all know when either the uplink changes or the generators have been destroyed that all of a sudden the map flips and you have to go somewhere completely different. But this is when the hero pickups spawn. And if you know where at least one of these locations are, you can just wait there and see if it actually spawns there, because one time it will. Tip number 5. Learning hero abilities/strengths. So we all know on Walker Assault or Supremacy, when we finally get the hero pickup we've been wanting for so long, and we definitely don't want to mess this up. Depending on what hero you pick, you're going to want to know what situation they're good for. For example, if you pick Palpatine, you're going to probably stick to indoors and close quarter combat because that's obviously where he's best. And on the other hand, if you're going to pick someone like Luke, you're going to want to keep moving and keep going, using his speed to your advantage, so the enemies will find you a harder target to hit. These are just a few tips on those 2 heroes, but there are many more of the other heroes as well. Tip number 6. Learn the maps. Now this may seem like an obvious one, but I'm sure not all of us know exactly where the enemies can come from on each map. Now, I'm not saying learn the enemy spawns, I'm saying learn the general direction where the enemies can come from. Now this may be when you're in a room and there's several doors on it, and you've got to know which door the enemies are likely to come from. And on the other hand, you may need to learn some of the vantage points on that map. Say, if Boba Fett can get up there but nobody else can, you've got to know whether he can be up there or, yeah, just anything like that really. Tip number 7. The right moment. So we all know when we get a thermal imploder, a smart rocket or anything like that, we always want to use it on the first enemy we see. This is not always a good idea. Because for example, a blaster cannon is much better used at choke point where enemies can't go any other way than directly where you've placed the blaster cannon. And on the other hand, a thermal imploder is very good when it's saved for a cluster of enemies. For example, you know on Walker Assault when there's a bunch of enemies going around the uplink and you can clear them out with just one thermal imploder. It just depends if you have the patience to wait for this, and this can really help you improve your KD. Tip number 8. Patience. So we all know when we just come out of that 1v1 gunfight and we're on very low health and there's more enemies coming towards us. So one thing we shouldn't do is definitely not push on low health, because even if the enemy's accuracy is really bad, it's very likely that you will die if you're on low health. One way we can combat this is if we bring a Bacta bomb or an adrenaline stim, just something that will get our health up that little bit quicker. So those were 8 tips to improve your KD in Star Wars Battlefront. I hope at least one of those tips helped you guys out, and if you do notice a difference in changing my voice, I have got a new mic thanks to one of my friends, Hypovae. He let me borrow it for a couple of days, so check his links down in the description. But that will be it for this video. If you do want to see anything else like this in the future, maybe another game that you guys want some tips on, hopefully I can help you out with, and suggest them in the comments if you want them. Also, thank you a lot for 100 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, and to be honest, not a lot of you probably watch all my videos, but if you do and you've made it this far, then seriously, I thank you a lot. So yeah, that's just about it from me today. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. So yeah, see you later guys.